A few years ago, the Environmental Advisory Committee had come up with the idea about sharing with the community what Reston's state of the environment is. And so a working group was formed and a RASER report was put together to discuss various environmental attributes of Reston.
I'm Doug Britt. I'm a member of the Environmental Advisory Committee for Reston Association. I'm also an at-large director. I've been involved for the past 4 years with a working group of the Environmental Advisory Committee called the RASER Working Group, which stands for the Reston Annual State of the Environment Report. In 2017, we put forward the first report for the community. In that report, we had a number of recommendations on how we can improve or protect our natural resources. In 2019, we updated that report. Since the first RASER was done in 2017, we've now accumulated 72 recommendations. So we track those on a report card that's available online that shows in easy-to-see icons what progress has been made to date. When we completed the second year of the RASER report, we recognized that the various environmental attributes we looked at our community, there is an overarching change going on with respect to climate change that affects all of our resources. It was a large enough issue that we made it a dedicated standalone report. The climate change report really looked at data that was Reston specific, and when we couldn't find data for this particular community, we looked at most relatable data, including that from Dulles Airport, from Fairfax County, from Washington Metropolitan Council of Governments, and from state agencies. But what we found in this report is indeed Reston has already been affected by climate change. We've added about a week of days in the summer above 95 degrees since the 1970s. Our humidity's increased about 10%, with more intense, longer duration rainfall events in the summer. We're going to have more erosion, more runoff, and that means more frequent dredging of our lakes and vulnerable restoration of our vulnerable streams. Very expensive ordeals, as most people know. The binders that are used on the asphalt on these paths deteriorate more heavily in warmer weather. With respect to reserve funding that Reston Association has put together for rehabilitating and retiring infrastructure, such as our swimming pools and tennis courts, paths and parking lots, in the future we can't be so certain that the historic rates of repair and replacement will hold. And so that could have economic consequences for the community. I, like many people, moved to Reston as a choice because of the great environment we have here. The open spaces, the natural resources, the pathways, the recreational opportunities, and all of these things and the infrastructure that supports it are impacted by climate change. So it's very, very important that we all look at what we can do in the meantime to lessen the impact or adapt to those changes in a way that's sustainable.
As a consequence of one of the recommendations from RASER, Reston became the 13th community to join the Biophilic Cities Network. And as an offshoot of that, we developed a second working group called the Reston Biophilic Pledge Group. And with this group, we are asking residents to commit to 6 different items on this pledge. These are simple items that you might already be doing. Things like turning your lights off at night, adding at least 1 native plant. Just looking right over here, I'm watching a song sparrow eating the seeds of a native sumac that was planted as part of our riparian buffer here. So it's a perfect example of what happens when you add a native plant to the environment and you're helping support our native songbirds and wildlife. So take the Biophilic Pledge by following the SurveyMonkey link and committing to 6 of these items on this pledge card.